You know, few nations understand tournament football quite like France. Welcome to today's Explainer. When you really dig into the source material we're looking at today, it becomes immediately clear that we aren't just talking about a national team here. We're looking at a ruthless, modern footballing empire. Today, we're going to break down the legacy, the tactics, and the absolute mountain of pressure surrounding the French squad as they march toward the 2026 World Cup. The stakes? They are literally unimaginably high.
Look at this quote right here. While others chase beauty, France chase survival. Just let that sink in for a second. In a footballing world where fans and pundits are completely obsessed with the romantic idea of, beautiful, expansive, free-flowing football, France operates on a totally different frequency. They are fueled by this cold, calculated pursuit of tournament victory. It's all about efficiency, control, survival. That is absolutely baked into their DNA.
The data really points to a massive transformation, one that officially kicked off back in August 2012. Because before then, if you remember, France was often seen as this massively underachieving side, right? They're plagued by internal drama and all this unmet potential. But since Didier Deschamps took the reins, they've evolved into an incredibly feared modern juggernaut. They aren't just out there chasing respect on the global stage anymore. They're actively defending history. And just look at the key pillars of this modern empire. I mean, yes, obviously, they were the 2018 World Cup winners and the 2022 runners-up. And sure, they possess a completely limitless talent pool where literal world-class players are sitting on the bench. But as our sources emphasize over and over, their true superpower is actually that final point, elite emotional control. In the absolute chaos of knockout football, when every other team starts to panic, France endures.
So let's dive into part 1, the architect, Didier Deschamps.
As one of the very few men to actually conquer the World Cup as both a captain and a coach, Deschamps is, well, he's absolutely ruthless. Just read this quote about his 2026 selections. Personal feelings can't take precedence over professional objectives. He will gladly, without a second thought, exclude massive names, guys like Eduardo Camavinga or Paul Pogba, just to maintain strict discipline and the delicate balance of his system. For him, the collective always outweighs the individual, every single time.
And that strict discipline manifests in a really brilliant tactical duality. On one side, you have this incredibly compact, almost impenetrable defensive wall. But on the flip side, the exact second they win the ball back, they unleash these terrifying, explosive counterattacks. It's like a trap. They just sit there, wait for you to make a mistake, and then, boom, they strike.
Moving on to part 2, the 2026 Arsenal. And we're talking about frightening quality here.
The sheer depth of this squad is staggering. Anchoring the team in goal is Mike Maignan, standing right behind a literal fortress built by Upamecano and Saliba. But I really want you to notice the midfield engine here. Aurélien Tchouaméni provides that sleek, modern control, but Deschamps has also leaned heavily into pure tournament know-how by bringing back a 34-year-old N'Golo Kanté. It's a fascinating mix.
Then there's the front line, which is basically a nightmare to defend against. Ousmane Dembélé stretches defenses super wide, while Jean-Philippe Mateta brings this intense, almost rugby-like physical energy and really clinical finishing. So why does this matter to you? Because in those grueling, exhausting knockout stages, France needs exactly this kind of physical dominance to break down incredibly stubborn opponents.
And of course, then there's Kylian Mbappé, and the number 4. Right now, he's sitting at 12 career World Cup goals. That means he needs just 4 more to break Miroslav Klose's all-time record of 16. I mean, considering he dropped a hat-trick in the 2022 final alone, it's pretty clear Mbappé isn't just playing to win a trophy, he is on a personal mission to completely rewrite the history books.
All right, part 3, the battlefield. We're looking at Group I.
Now, before Mbappé can go breaking any records, France actually has to survive what is literally a group of death. Let's map out this gauntlet, shall we? Match 1, Senegal, the lightning-fast African champions. Match 2, Iraq, a team known for a really gritty, physical, low block. And Match 3, Norway, harboring arguably the deadliest striker in the world. Seriously, this group is an absolute minefield.
Notice the crazy tactical whiplash Deschamps is going to face here. In one match, Iraq is going to completely concede possession and throw up this frustrating physical wall. But then, you contrast that immediately with Norway, a highly aggressive, incredibly direct attacking team that's just going to fire arrows at your defense. France is going to have to completely reboot their tactical brain between these matches.
Which brings us to another massive number, 16. That is the frankly terrifying number of goals Erling Haaland scored in his last 8 Euro qualifying matches. That's averaging 2 goals a game. To put that in perspective, if France slips up early in the group, they are going to be facing a lethal Holland while actively fighting for their tournament lives.
This takes us to part 4, the pressure of expectation. An incredibly heavy crown to wear.
So this 2026 World Cup is heavily reported to be Deschamps' final tournament, which naturally places this immense psychological weight on the entire squad. And under all this pressure, he's actually taking some huge, calculated risks. Take the number 21 here. That represents Robin Risser, the 21-year-old goalkeeper Deschamps is choosing to trust over much more seasoned veterans. He's ruthlessly prioritizing current form over just playing it safe.
So, as we look ahead, we're really left with these huge, existential questions. Can a team that has achieved so much over the last decade really maintain their absolute hunger? Will these fresh youth inclusions like Risser end up cracking under the blinding lights of the World Cup? And crucially, can Kylian Mbappé successfully transition from being a brilliant individual star into the core, stabilizing leadership anchor for this team?
Which leads us to part 5, can France win again? This is the ultimate test.
When you start weighing their immense strengths against such a complicated group stage, the source material brilliantly reminds us of this. You can have the best squad on paper, but tournament football demands your soul. The World Cup actively punishes arrogance. Just one single slip-up against a team like Senegal, and suddenly, this massive empire is completely backed into a corner.
You know, everything Deschamps has built since 2012 has ultimately led to this, one final mission. It's an ambitious attempt to completely solidify this era of French football as the absolute benchmark of the 21st century. But, as we all know, football history is notoriously ruthless. Empires rise and empires fall. Generational dominance never lasts forever, and there are always hungry, ambitious nations just waiting to tear the kings down from their throne. France isn't just playing for a cup anymore. They are playing to delay the inevitable fall of their own empire.
Which leaves us with this final, lingering thought. Will Didier Deschamps walk away as an undisputed legend of international management, or will he be forced to watch his empire fade away in the group stages? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this breakdown helps you feel the sheer drama awaiting France in 2026. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you next time.